Yeah, and then we'll touch on it and see if any of us can pick it up. And anything that's got hand-eye coordination, you're not going to be picking up.
No, I'm out. I'll stay well away from that.
So, but look, let us know. Yeah, send this over to us and let us know what you guys are thinking, and we'll go from there. Yeah.
Tune into your heart with that guy Ken, the King of Hearts.
That time now where the King of Hearts himself gives us some wise words.
So very recently, I went to a family wedding of my cousin, one of my closest cousins. You know, I've been known her since she was born. You know, a gem in the family's eyes. But it's the first wedding I've actually been to this year. If people know me, I haven't been to any weddings in 2019 simply because I haven't really wanted to for personal reasons. So yeah, out there, I've missed your wedding or I've sent you a message saying I wasn't able to come. I do apologize once again. I just wasn't in the frame of mind to go to a wedding, but I had to go to this one. Reason being, it's a family wedding, and on my way there, I remember saying to my sisters and all, because we were all going together, you know what, I'm not looking forward to this simply because it just it brought up too many things in my personal life, too many things in my personal situation that I didn't really want to have to deal with. But anyway, on the way there, I had some family come up to me and they asked me some questions that I didn't really want to answer, just things that are going on. So I turned up at the wedding, and it was a beautiful wedding. It was a great wedding. It was at a family house. It was out in Etchingham in Surrey, which is a very, very lovely little town in Surrey. Beautiful, beautiful wedding. And while we were there, I had family members come up to me and ask me certain things that had been happening with me in 2019, and all of the things that have happened to me in 2019 have brought me to the point where I'm doing King of Hearts and talking to people who are going through a lot of personal issues, and having the conversations with my family members. And I realized one thing, that there are a lot of things that we internalize because we expect, or we have this what's the word I'm looking for, we have this resistance to having conversations about things that are happening in our lives because we don't want to share. We never open up. We never really feel close to people to understand what's going on with us and talk. But there's one thing I'm going to say to everyone is to share. Share what's the pain. Share things that you're going through. And in speaking to my uncle and my aunts that were there on the day, some of the things that they shared with me made me realize that the things that I'm going through and the things that we all are going through are eventually in some way, in somehow, are going to be inspirations to other people. You have to understand that the difficulties in life, even though you're going through it personally, and you might say there's something that you don't want to bring out, and it makes changes in you. Those changes are inspiration to others. It motivates others. You become someone better as you go through the pain, the struggles, the things that you're dealing with. It might be losing someone. It might be going through very hardships. It might be health issues. Mine isn't a health issue, but you go through things, but you understand what I mean. And in those moments where you feel as if you're alone and things are so hard and so difficult for you, when you're able to finally share and speak to people who are closest to you and they love you, when you realize that the things that you're going through, you might be hiding in your dark little closet, but people that are watching you are inspired by you being able to go through these things, and the inspiration that you're giving to others for them watching you go through the things that you're going through is something that actually made me realize, you know what, yeah, I'm free of the pain because I know that my what I'm going through is a deliverance. So just to keep it simple, the message that I got from the talks with my family resonated around this, and something my uncle said to me. He said, stand firm, let nothing move you, always give yourselves fully.
JR the Beatmaker, that guy Ken, Mr. Crisp, it's proper deep.
Baller of the week. I am currently leading 2-1, as I mentioned earlier. It's a big week. Will that guy Ken pull it back to 2-2, or will I take an unassailable 3-1 lead? we will see how it goes. Do you want to go first, Ken, or do you want me to?
I'll let you go.
You want me to
I'll
go
put
first?
this one on you.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, there's a bit of a twist. I have 2 ballers of the week that I am nominating. One of them is Kano, who released a new album this week, and the other one, Ken, turn around because I'm about to stab you in the back, is Akala. Kano and Akala.
I swear that's a disqualification right there.
Well, hang on.
I kind of know where he's going with this.
All right, you know where I'm going with this, right?
Go.
So Kano released a new album this week called Hoodies All Summer, and he sat down for an hour-long interview with the man himself, Akala, and they just broke it down. They broke down the album, and they broke down their careers and their lives, and it's a really good watch. If you haven't checked it out, it's on Kano's YouTube channel, about an hour long. So it kicks off. Akala asks, what is hood success? Because the idea that you can be successful as like a standard, like not even an entrepreneur, just a normal businessman in your suit going to work, that is success. But if you're a black guy who clearly Kano and Akala have this, what they're calling hood success, you're driving your flashy cars and you're getting stopped by police, and the attitude of society isn't really on your side, primarily because of the colour of your skin and what you do for a living, if you're into like music and stuff. So they talk about that for a bit, but they also go on to their optimism for the next generation. So there's a lot of like down talk about drill music, the violence of it, and the drugs and everything. But they highlight the fact that if you sit down and you make music, you are trying to get yourself out of that life. So just because you're commentating on what's going on around you doesn't mean you're feeding it. You're actually trying to help yourself to get out of it and to have this hood success that they're talking about. And yeah, Kano talks about evolving as an artist, and that postcode wars are not really for him anymore. And all this violence and that, and he would rather personally talk about his emotions, love and fear and all this sort of stuff. But he understands like where he came from, and you know, like the kids today, he doesn't want to go back and preach to them like people were preaching to him when he was a kid. He wants to just be like more like that almost father or brother figure almost, and just put an arm around and just be like, look, this is not what needs to go down. And yeah, they just discussed it's a celebration of black culture and UK music and stuff. And finally, they spend a little bit of time talking about what we've actually concluded is the ultimate pickup sport. They talk about football for a bit. And yeah, they both used to play for some decent teams. So yeah, so generally just like for black culture and motivation and optimism, my ballers of the week are Kano and Akala. Ken, what you got?
Okay, I like that. You know what? He should actually be disqualified because I used Akala on episode 2.
If Akala had won, I may not have brought him back into the conversation.
Okay, all right. My ball of the week is gonna be controversial because you know me, I like controversy. It should be my 3rd or 4th name, even though I have many. So yes, my ball of the week. This is gonna be a posthumous ball of the week. My ball of the week is Robert Mugabe. And the reason for it being Robert Mugabe is, in light of everything that's happening in South Africa and xenophobia and everything with Nigerians, the one thing they have to respect about Mugabe is when he came into power and the way he came into power, what he went through before he got into power, and what he did while he was there. Yes, everybody has a lot of memes about the various crazy, mad things that he said after he was in power, and the fact that he was in power for a little bit too long, and people are a little bit, they've seen the land grabbing or the reclaiming of land from whites after when he came into power. But you have to understand, in terms of getting to where he got to be in that power, he actually was part of. He studied while he was in prison on 2 occasions. He got masters and degrees from the University of London and various other universities around the world while he was in prison. He went out before China and Russia became the superpowers that they were. He actually developed sort of coalitions with these 2 countries to have a prosperous economic sort of exchange with these two countries, because he always knew that he was always going to have a black man leading his country, but he always knew that there was going to be, for its economical development, he'd have to have trade with these countries. So in terms of what Mugabe did for Zimbabwe, I'm making him my ball of the week. He's just passed away. He passed away at 90. He eventually had to give up power, and he had to secede power to others before he passed away. But it's just what he did. A lot of people don't know what he did before he came into power. The trials and the tribulations that he went through to get into power, what he did for his country. And if you notice now, like, you never hear nothing really about bad going on in Zimbabwe. It's a very unified country. They are not that. Yes, there are warring tribes, which you always have in every country, but there's no genocide currently in the moment. There's no massive civil wars going on in the country, and it's actually now a very, very prosperous country. It's developing, and yeah, it's got beautiful people. And, they are making their ways and growing, and they're doing the things that South Africa needs to be doing right now. Let's put it that way. I mean, at the end of the day, it would be a night. So for me, in terms of what he's done, what he did over the 90 plus years of his life, Robert Mugabe has shown that he's a son of Africa. Wow. And he should be remembered. So yes, Robert Mugabe is my ball of the week.
Okay. Mr. Chris.
Very good choices. Controversial.
Very.
But I can see where you're going with it. It's taking the show in another direction. Thank you.
It's taking a dark turn.
You're taking the show, but it's all good. You're taking the show.
I wasn't. Hey, look, he's anyway. Go on. I'm waiting for an answer.
Both of the people you've picked, I think we take the message is about self-empowerment.
Yeah.
And having knowledge.
Yes.
Greater knowledge of self and a greater knowledge of the world, your leadership, and it's about leadership. So, and I'm not. Mugabe has died this week, and there's a certain narrative, there's certain words which are led, and I'm not taking that narrative.
Yes,
because I'm seeing beyond the narrative, and I would say, is that narrative, certain words which are used and framed around him, is it used for other people who could fit in that ilk as well? So I'm not necessarily following that narrative. I'm aware of his history, but the narrative around Mugabe, I look beyond. I'm going to declare, because Akala's message and Kano's message and what you're saying about Mugabe, it is about leadership and having knowledge of self and thinking beyond and how can you benefit the people. So for that reason, I'm going to declare this one a draw.
I saw that coming.
This is a draw.
Oh, wow. I did not see that.
This is a draw.
I didn't see that. But
This is a draw.
Okay, all right. You know what?
I'm disappointed.
I'm. You know what? This is gonna again. Now I want the votes. I want the viewers and the listeners to actually.
Should we take it to a people's
We're gonna take it to a people's vote. Mr. Chris,
Are you ready for that road?
I'm ready for
a referendum? Another one?
If you want to see Robert Mugabe come up trumps against Kano and Akala, then tweet Ken. I don't want nothing to do with that.
The people's vote.
The people's vote. You find me on Insta, find me on Twitter. I'm ready. Don't worry. I want to hear what people are saying.
But yeah, no. Seriously, like, make sure you contact the show on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. Just give us your comments on this baller of the week and the pickup sports as well. Just get involved in the show, man. It's a community.
Exactly. We want to hear from all of you.
Right. So I think that just about rounds us up.
Just about wraps us up.
So, as I just said, the Instagram is @Beats&Balls, Facebook Beats and Balls with an ampersand. Make sure you like and subscribe to the show, review the content, bring your comments and everything. Just be as interactive as you possibly can, and we will see you next time. You can find us on Audioboom, iTunes and Spotify, and wherever else you get your podcast. Until next time,
Ballers out. Yeah, I like that show actually.
Oh.